Hello everyone, today I'm here to review for you Barbecubes. This is effectively the sort of semi-sequel to Tinderblox, where you were stacking a campfire. This time you're stacking meat up on a barbecue. Let's go over roughly how the game plays, and then I'll give you some pros and cons to let you know if you should be adding this very small, fun box to your collection. And just so you're aware, Alley Cat Games did send me this to review. In Barbecubes, you're going to be using tweezers to put bits of meat onto a barbecue. Sounds simple? Well, the concept's very simple, but there are a couple of twists. On your turn, you're going to flip the top card over from the deck, and it will reveal to you one type of meat and whether it's needing to be placed on one barbecue run, across two, and if you're allowed to use your normal hand or you have to use your non-dominant hand. And if you're anything like me, I'm bad enough using my right hand, let alone having to try with my left. In this game, you are then using the tweezers to pick up that sausage, that bit of chicken, that burger, and balance it onto the barbecue. You're allowed to nudge stuff that's on the barbecue. You're even allowed to drop the bit of meat before it gets to the barbecue, as long as it gets onto the barbecue at some point. However, if you cause the bit that you're trying to put on, that cube of meat, if that drops through the grills into the box, or you nudge anything that was already on the barbecue off, well, then you take that card as a sort of negative point, and as soon as you get two cards in front of you, you are eliminated. The game keeps going until there is one barbecue king or queen left standing. It really is that simple, at least in concept. I'm certainly not great, especially when it comes to putting fish and sausages on, which are all funny shapes. So let's dive straight in with the fun factor. Yes, just like with the original Tinderblox, where you are constructing a campfire, there is a lot of fun to be had balancing the different types of meat, and the fact that they are different sizes and shapes, and some will sort of lay slightly nicer on their side, some will sort of have like a heavier end, like the drumstick, chicken drumstick or the fish, for instance. Obviously one part of it's got a bit more weight than the other, and you've got to be thinking of that as you are balancing these small bits of meat onto the barbecue, trying to be at least very delicate with those tweezers. I like the way that the deck of cards tells you what you're going to be adding, but also a little bit extra than that. The fact that sometimes you're balancing on just one run of the barbecue, sometimes across two, that is just enough to get things a little bit more interesting. Throw in the fact that some of those cards have that non-dominant hand on it, and you've got some chaos there. It's really fun the way that at the start of the game the barbecue's really empty, and you could just, I'll just plop that down there. Yeah, loads of space for this fish, loads of space for this burger, and then, how am I going to fit this sausage on just one run while balancing it? Or, there's not actually that many places where I could fit this this sausage across two runs. So I'm going to just have to carefully nudge this fish. Oh, it's all right. I've managed to do it. And then eventually there's so much stuff that someone ends up knocking in some food, and that clears a little area that then people will build back in as they're taking their turns. And that sort of creates a nice sort of ebb and flow in terms of it fills up, but then something will be knocked in, and then all of a sudden there is some gaps for you to then start putting stuff back up, and then it's full again. And it kind of makes you hungry having a full barbecue in front of you. Continuing the sort of funness of it, I really like the aesthetic as well. I like the fact that the bits of the barbecue come out of the box and then sit on top of it to actually create the barbecue. For two reasons. It looks really cool. Then you've got those sort of like pixelated, almost Minecraft meats that are being added on top. But that box part also dials up the fun, because when something falls in, you get that clatter of like the wooden pieces hitting the bottom of the metal container. You wouldn't get that if it was a cardboard container, but it's a sort of satisfying noise to hear, but also unsatisfying for one player, because that noise, which is satisfying to hear, means they've screwed up and knocked stuff in, and they've basically got their first warning, their yellow card, if you will, before then the next time they'd be eliminated. And on that, I'm not normally a huge fan of elimination from games. Certainly when you could be sat on the sideline for, 5-10 minutes, effectively having to watch. But this game is something that is fun to watch, so I don't think there is that much of an issue there. But also, we've found certainly it's very rare that one person is eliminated long before other players. Often it's like everyone is getting like one card, and as soon as one person is eliminated, yes, there's a bit of a gap from the stuff they've knocked off, but it's probably not long before the next person is eliminated and the next person, and then there is a winner. It's very rare that one person is eliminated like straight away and 10 minutes later the rest of the people are still playing. And then it's still fun to watch, even if that does happen. So because the playtime is short, I think you get away with that sort of elimination just nicely in this. While I do find Barbecubes really fun, there are a couple of bits I would like to mention. The deck of cards that runs it, like I've mentioned, that's absolutely fantastic, but I would love to have seen just a couple of like super special cards in there. Ones that are, these are extra hard, shuffle them in. For instance, you can actually, and often my opponents, not myself, manage to balance like the fish up on its tail or the chicken drumstick up on like the bone section, which is really quite impressive to do. And it would have been fun to have seen some of those cards just be shuffled in, like as like once you've played a few times, shuffle these in for an extra challenge. Or a couple of just like, this is a meat skewer or a vegetable skewer or something that maybe is one special piece that at some point that may or may not be added throughout the game. But there's space there to have just had a little micro expansion of cards or of something in the box. Another thing is that the game does say on the box 2 to 6 players, and while I can see it working with up to 6 players, I'm not sure I'd ever want to play it with that many people. It's quite a small sort of self-contained experience, at the fact that you are moving from the lid these items of food onto the barbecue, which is in turn the rest of the game box. It's quite small, and I think with 6 players sat around a table, either someone's going to be having to lean, or you're going to be having to almost do musical chairs. Oh, it's my turn. I need to, can you move out the way so I can take my turn? That sort of thing. Realistically, 2, 3, 4, I think that's probably where this game's going to shine. And above that, you're going to have people reaching across a table, trying to be delicate as well. And that doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. Like I say, I'm sure the game will work with that many people, but it's not sort of a player count I can see myself wanting to use this game for. But there we have it. That is Barbecubes. I've really enjoyed this one. It's a lot of fun. A tiny box, but not a tiny amount of fun. It's going to be one that doesn't get played every game night, but because of its portability, because it's just simple fun, it's one that will come out now and again. It will be thrown in the bag and taken somewhere for where you have a bit of time to enjoy and just play something a little bit silly. If you've enjoyed Tinderblox before, this is kind of like a sequel or in the same line as it, yeah, you're going to enjoy this one as well. And if you've not, this is a great place to jump in and start enjoying these very small box games from Alley Cat Games. So there you have it. Definitely give this one a go if you can, be it at a convention or a game store or somewhere. Do give it a go, give it a play, because I think you will have a lot of fun and enjoy it. And that is Barbecubes, and hopefully this review has helped you know if it's going to be a game that should be added to your collection or not, or maybe even, because I think it's a pretty good size for it, this is a good little gift for someone that you could give as well. But anyway, until next time, let me know what would you be adding to your Barbecube in terms of food in the comment section below. Smash that like button, because apparently that really does help. And until next time, have a barbecubing good day.